Herbies. So as promised, I'm going to show you guys how to make a fire cider. So it's a beautiful day. Every day is a beautiful day here in Africa. So I thought I would come outside and just enjoy the weather and do this recipe outside in my backyard. So we have all of our ingredients here. We have our red onion, our garlic, our lemon, our raw fresh turmeric. We have our ginger, we have our peppers, and then we have our horseradish. Now, I was not able to find any fresh horseradish here in Africa and Tanzania, so I've used prepared horseradish. So depending on what region you're in of the world, you may or may not be able to find fresh horseradish. And then, of course, we have our apple cider vinegar with the mother in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up all of these ingredients and I'm going to add it to our mason jar here. So you can either chop up your ingredients, or if you want, you can grate it up. Depends on how you want to do it. It's up to you. So also, when you're using fresh turmeric, it can stain your hands and your fingernails. So if you're a woman and you just got your nails done, you may want to use gloves. Otherwise, it'll wash off in a couple of washes after you wash the dishes or wash clothes or whatever. After a couple of times, the staining will be removed. So it's up to you. So as you can see, it's already kind of stained. Turmeric is very, very powerful. So you can already see the plant essence on the knife there. So I'm going to continue to chop up my turmeric here. And if you want, you can also use mortar and pestle. If you want to mash up your herbs and add it in there, you can decide. And move all this stuff out the way. All right, so I'm going to continue to chop up my turmeric root. Now, if you want, chop it up smaller than this, you can. I'm fine with this size. Also, when you're using the lemon, you want to use the juice of the lemon, and you also want to use the outer peel of the lemon as well, because there's also a lot of nutrients in the skin as well. Also, of course, make sure you wash all your produce before you use it so you can get off any dirt, bugs, whatever, anything that may be on it. So I have my turmeric. I'm going to add the turmeric to the jar. All right, so we're done with turmeric. Chop up this ginger. Now, sometimes I grate up the ginger. It doesn't matter how you do it. You can decide either way. It'll get infused. Some people like to grate it up because it infuses faster. But if you're going to be letting it sit for anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, it'll extract the properties no matter how you chop it up. And if you can use, in the recipe, I said that you could use fresh ginger, fresh turmeric, or you can use powdered. If you can get fresh ingredients, do that. But if you can only find powdered turmeric or powdered ginger in your area, that's fine as well. All right, so there's my ginger. I'm going to add my ginger to the jar here. Right. Next, we got our peppers here. Now, depending on the size of your peppers, you may want to use 2 to 3 peppers. If you have larger size peppers, you can just use 2. But if you have smaller peppers, you can use 3. So I'm going to go ahead and use these 3 peppers because they're relatively smaller. These are just chili peppers I have here. You can use any type of pepper that you want that's available in your area. Yeah, I can smell the pepper opening me up already. I like to throw it all in there. I don't take out the stems or anything. I put it all in there. I use the whole plants and the seeds and everything, all of it. So I'm gonna add the pepper to the jar here. Make sure I get the seeds up. All right, so got that in there. Now I'm going to add the onion. So I'm gonna come back for this because I'm probably gonna cry. I don't want to cry on camera. So be back in a second. All right, it's one onion down, one to go. And again, you can chop it up as small or as big as you like. It'll all get infused in the end. All right, going in for my second one. I didn't cry that time. Must be the wind helping to move the onion juice particles out of the air. All right, let's add in our second bunch of onions here. As you can see, this jar is getting pretty full there. All of our beautiful ingredients. All right, getting down to the wire here. We got our onion. And again, because I'm going to be using the peel as well as the juice, I'm just going to simply chop up the onion and add it in there. Skin and all. Push that bad boy down in there. Don't want to miss out on any of that juice. You may have to push it down in there. Your jar is small. All right, there we are. Lastly, we have our garlic here. Nope, garlic, and then we have the horseradish as well. So let me add the horseradish. Alrighty, and our last ingredient is our garlic. I like the red garlic. It has a little bit more antioxidants in it than the white garlic. So if you can find the red garlic, definitely get that. superior to the white garlic. Just as a rule of thumb, the more highly pigmented fruit or vegetable is, usually the more medicinal it is. So I'm gonna come back once I get these clothes open, because sometimes you have to wrestle with the skin of the garlic to get it out. All right, so I've got my garlics. I'm going to add them to the jar. And finally, once you have all your ingredients into your jar, it should look like this. A medley of beautiful ingredients. And then now we are going to top it off with apple cider vinegar. Alrighty. You want to add it all the way until it completely covers all of your herbs. You want to have it a little bit higher. So push that down in there. So make sure everything is completely submerged and then some, because you want to make sure you have enough liquid to completely cover the herbs. I'm gonna add a little bit more here. Alrighty, so now we're gonna top it off with the top. Gonna give it a good shake. Mix everything up quite vigorously. Mix, 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 mix. Alrighty. So there we are. We have fire cider. So you want to put this into a cool, dark area. So if you have a shelf or a cabinet, you want to, first of all, you want to label it. So you can use one of the labels that's provided, or you can just use any label you have on hand. Doesn't have to be anything fancy at this point, because we're not actually labeling it to put on the shelf right now or to sell to clients right now. This is just our raw material here. So you want to label it with the date. You want to put the name of the remedy, so you want to put fire cider. And then if you want to add the ingredients you use, you can add that. And then you also want to put the date that it was made on there, so that you know when, what time it'll be done infusing. So anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. We will come back at a later date and we will strain this, and we'll put our labels on, and we're going to add honey as well. So again, this is shelf stable. Vinegar helps to preserve everything, as well as when we add the honey, that will also help to preserve the fire cider as well. So peace, guys.